Welcome, TK Richards.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing fabulous. TK is going to be at our spring book bash coming up on April 25th, downtown Greer at the Randall House. We're going to have around 30 authors, around 50 genres represented, somewhere around 140 different book titles, and authors from 8 states. So it is going to be a fun time in downtown Greer. TK, tell us about the books that you're going to be bringing with you.
I'm definitely going to be bringing The Vampirist. It is my paranormal romance. It was originally a standalone, and it can still be a standalone, but I've had several DMs wanting more. Uh, I did not plan for this to go this way. I didn't even plan to write a vampire book. So for this to be my bestseller is shocking.
Awesome.
Um, and the reason people want a was going to be a duology. I'm stopping at two. There are two love interests in the book, and I have one crowd asking for more of the werewolf king, and another one for an old vampire, and they're in an entanglement outside of a sibling triangle entanglement. It's pretty crazy. So people are like, "No, we want more of those guys," and I'm like, they're not even the main character. She's the main character. Like, what are you talking about? So I have to give them what they want.
Yep.
So now it's going to be a duology, but it can still be a standalone, depending on which guy I'm going to focus on. It could be a backstory or it could be a continuation. I haven't decided yet. I have two drafts of notes. My sister's hailing one, I'm hailing the other. So we'll see who wins.
Awesome.
And I'm going to bring more romance. I'm hoping a lot of romance readers will show up. I write
Hmm.
in several genres. I write in later in life. I write in BWWM, interracial, rock star romance. And I have one love story that I have to clarify it's a love story because if romance readers do not get that HEA, they will come after you. So I've even had to like put it on the top. This is a love story. When they read the description, this is not a romance. People are going to be happy, but you're not going to get the HEA that romance readers want with that book. And then I'm probably going to bring my speculative fiction. We recently did an event, and I was surprised that the cover, the old cover, actually caught the eyes of readers. So I may bring a few of those.
So
But yeah,
your
I have pretty much different genres.
so your vampirist, that's the one that's right over your shoulder.
Yes, and it has two covers. This is the readers are fickle now. Some
Hmm.
people don't want covers with people on them, and
Oh,
some of them prefer abstract covers. So we have this cover, and then it also comes in the abstract cover, which is just a symbolism cover,
oh, okay.
but it's the same book. Yeah, I learned that the hard way. Do you have this
Oh,
book, but people aren't on the cover? And I was like, do I need to be doing this? So I have
didn't know
several
that was a
covers.
thing.
Yes, and the illustrated covers. I did that with my rock star romance. This one was abstract with just the guitar,
Hmm.
but I had to add an illustrated because people were like, "Well, do you have one with illustration?" I was like, "Let me do that next." So yes, my books have several covers. Yeah.
So what got you writing the variety? Because you're not just like one strict genre.
Um, I did a lot of listening to other people,
Hmm.
and something happened at a certain age I won't mention where I said, "I'm tired of listening to people. I want to do what I want." And
Okay.
then it also hit me that a lot of people don't know what they're talking about. They're just talking.
We know that.
Yes. So people that know me know I have a husband, but I have a serious crush on Idris Elba. And outside of his good looks, I love his life model. He's not boxed in. You weren't just
Mhm.
going to make him be an actor and call it quits.
Right.
And he's driven race cars. He's gotten the boxing ring. He's directed. He's DJing. He's rapping. And then I saw like a couple of months ago, he sang at a world event. He's going to do whatever he wants to do.
Yep.
So I kind of like take after what he does in my writing. If I want to write a thriller, I write a thriller. If I want to write romance, I write romance. If I want to write women's fiction, this is what you're going to get.
Mhm.
And there were a lot of groups that I joined, especially during the pandemic. They were all saying, well, you have to do this way. You have to do this way. And that's not true.
Mm-mm.
So I just listen to me now and I write whatever I want and it comes out.
And you will definitely find your audience that is just like you know, and
Hope
it
so.
wants to read what what you're writing. There is an audience out there for everyone, I am convinced, because
Yes.
some of these books that I've seen, it's like, huh, and you sold books. Okay. So there is
Don't get me get started. Ooh.
there is a reader for every book.
Yes.
So, um, now, are you an outliner, a plotter, or are you more of a pantser or somewhere in between?
I like to combine words. So like
Oh,
I call myself an extrovert because I can be both.
okay.
So I say I'm a plantser.
Okay. Yep.
Some books I will plant from the beginning to the end. Some of
Mhm.
them I can be in the middle of something else and I'll pull out my recorder to record a voice note and I will jump into that and then I'll write the ending to something and then go
Mhm.
back and write the beginning and then I
Mhm.
just have to fill out the middle. So I'm both. When it comes to me, it comes to me.
So, how many book titles do you have currently?
I lose count.
That's a good problem.
So I know I have 15 if I count one that I have unpublished. I'm
Okay.
going to republish that because it was my very first book. There was some
Mm.
drama behind it.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
and now I'm getting the courage to say it's coming back out. I took the time to write those 80,000 words,
Mhm.
and the story was horrible because I knew nothing about the business. I didn't have
Mhm.
an editor. I thought if I read it 10 times, I could catch what I needed to catch. And at that time, I didn't know about developmental editing. I just know that I read books, I liked books, I can write books, so I'm going to put it out.
Yeah.
Lesson learned, it came down for the wrong reason. And as I kept going through it, I said, oh, now that I've been doing this a while, this can be much better. So
Mhm.
it's going to come back out. So when it comes back out, that will definitely be 15 as TK.
Okay.
I have two other pen names, but I never released them because there's this weird thing in the industry where some people will buy if they don't know you. So, and they make money in KU because
Okay.
people don't know it's me. The funny part about that is I will see people who follow my page and who claim to support me, but
Mhm.
I've never seen them hold up one of my books in a video, but they're holding up that person that they don't know and have never seen. And it's when I saw that, I said, I will never reveal that those names are me. It,
So
it's
so you got more, but they're over on KU, which means they won't be
yes.
at the event.
Three
But
of them are in KU and two of them are on every platform. Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah. But I still won't tell anybody it's me. It just fascinates me because there's like this one girl who I've had like conversations with, has never talked about my books, has never held up my books, yet she is messaging the other person.
I love it.
And I'm like, the writing is the same. It's just you don't know that that's me. So I was like, huh.
Mhm.
I have always struggled with having the RBF and people think I'm mean or whatever. So I said, I think I've cracked the code. Some things will just have to remain ominous. Sad but true.
So
Yes.
so you've got the one book that you're redoing.
Yes.
What books do you have in the pipeline?
I have one that I have never really aimed for traditional publishing, but
Mhm.
it's a domestic thriller. I'm
Mm,
going to shop that for a couple of months. My cutoff is 3 months. I don't know if people
okay.
do it longer, but that's just my cutoff.
Right.
And if it doesn't, that's coming out. I'll reveal
Okay.
that title in 3 months. I
Okay.
also have two women's fiction. They're complete, but they're just sitting there.
Okay.
I don't really know if it's women's fiction slash another genre completely.
Okay.
Um, and then I have two romances that are just sitting there looking at me like, ma'am, we're ready to be released into the wild. What are you doing? What I'm doing is starting three other books.
I love it.
The Vampire's Request is one of them, the part two. And then my love story that I have to tell people this is a love story.
Mhm.
People want more from those people. And I'm like, the way it ended, this is a one and done. And they're all like, no. And I'm like, yes. And over the past week, I've been convinced to write a part two.
Okay.
So I'm giving the people what they want this year. I can't promise that in 2027.
Right. Is there a genre that you haven't written that you want to write?
I didn't think I wrote horror, but apparently elements in the vampire are
Mhm.
considered to be horror. I thought it was just considered to be gore.
Okay.
But if I could actually write my own gothic horror fiction
Mhm.
outside of paranormal, that may be the genre I would tap into next. Because I'm scary. And
Okay.
people have told me that that's why the vampires is the way it is, because you can tell that I'm fearful in certain situations. I wrote it
Mm,
from that standpoint to make you
okay.
scared
Okay.
because I don't watch vampire things until I didn't watch anything vampire until my sister asked me to write that book. I
Okay.
avoided anything with a vampire. Um, and now I'm watching vampires. Then somebody else told me you write what you fear more, with more emotion and
Mhm.
taste and sound, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that. So I was like, well, maybe I do need to write a horror gothic because I'm scared of everything. So I would probably say that would be the genre that I haven't written in and I may try.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't normally watch vampire shows, but you did to write your book. What do you normally watch then?
Well, what I did, I wrote it first and then I went and watched to
Okay.
see. I wanted it to be different from all of like what everybody knows of vampires.
Mhm.
And then I got a little discouraged because there was a show that it's only like one season. So I was like, well, nobody really knows about this. And then they had an element in the book that I put in my book. And I was like, I'm not going back to change it. So, and that was the seeing auras.
Mhm.
And where I got that from was I am a conspiracy theorist person and I don't know what other word, I guess supernatural a little bit.
Okay.
And my brother is married to a woman in Japan. And when her parents came over, they looked at me and said I had a purple aura. And I was like, what? That means. So I started looking into what auras meant and people who could see them. So I put that in the book.
Mm.
And then that show I found, they touched on that too. So just little things like that. Yeah.
So you have, I'm looking at your bio, and you have where you have interracial and multicultural in your paranormal romance.
Yes.
So which races, which colors?
So my vampires is black, but she's involved with a Japanese black werewolf. And then
Okay.
the other entanglement comes from a Haitian vampire,
Okay.
but the vampire that turns her is an old British white guy.
You went for all for every
Yes.
you went across the globe and came back.
Yes. 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 Yes.
I love it.
And other than my nephews and nieces that tie me to Japan, there's a funny story about me in Japan. I don't know how raunchy we could get on here. It's not too raunchy, but it makes my sister crack up. I've lived in Atlanta and I worked in a hotel. And one day I got mail from Japan. Apparently, while I was getting some reservations done, there's a photograph of me on the phone and a Japanese gentleman posed like this in front of me in the picture. And the letter said that he was pretty much fascinated with me and offered me a life of riches to come to Japan to be his concubine.
Oh,
So
wow.
my twin and I worked at the same hotel. I wouldn't sue her because she's my twin and this is the life we have. She saw my name in the mail. She opened it up and she read it. So when she walked up to me, she was just cracking up in tears. You're not going to believe what you got in the mail. I'm like, you opened up my mail? She was like, this was from Japan. Yes, I did open it. So she knew what was in it before I read it. And we just cracked up that night at dinner. I never, never wanted to be a concubine in my life, but okay, sir.
Right?
So that's my
That is
tan
not on my
with,
life goals.
yes, right. So like that's my first time with Japan, and then my nephews and my nieces are over there. So yeah, good old Japan.
Gotta love it.
Yes, yes, I still have that picture.
Of course. You don't get rid of
Could you
that.
imagine? Folks, and I'm with the back on the phone. Didn't even know what was happening around me.
That'll teach you to pay attention to who's around.
Yes, good old Atlanta.
So
So,
you're not in Atlanta now.
no,
What took you from Atlanta to where you are now?
the thing that I never said, a man. For a person who writes romance, I have never really cared for weddings.
Okay.
So my sister was getting married and she asked me to be in her wedding. I was like, no. Everyone accused me of being jealous that she was getting married. At that time, marriage was the furthest thing from my mind. I was doing music, I was just living. I wasn't thinking about being tied down. I thought I was going to be the next big thing in music. And I didn't want to be in a wedding. So after I was lectured that I'm being jealous, you've got to be in your sister's wedding. I came home and her husband then says that he wants to introduce me to his cousin. And I said, I do not want to meet your country ASS cousin. And I went back to Atlanta after this and I was like, I'll be back for the wedding. And at the wedding, he walked past and I was like, who's that? He said, my country ASS cousin.
Oops.
2 weeks later, I was out of Atlanta. I was gone. So that's why I'm no longer in Atlanta. Back to the roots of South Carolina.
So you're originally from South Carolina then?
Yeah, Charleston.
Okay.
Even
Ooh.
though, ironically, the event is in Greer, we lived in Greer for like 6 months.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't know where, but somewhere around there. and then Charleston.
Awesome.
Yep.
So much fun. Oh
Yes.
goodness. We
So
are going to have such a good time
I'm
at this
excited,
event.
especially with all the different authors that are coming from everywhere.
Yeah, as I say, we've got a nice mix of authors. And that's the one thing that I always strive for at my events is to have a variety, something for everyone. Um, because I think when you stretch to see how many different genres you can put in one room,
Hmm.
you then get a bunch of different personalities to go with it.
Yes.
And we certainly have that. We have a nice variety of personalities, a great variety of genres, and I can't believe how many book titles we're doing. And then we're going to have a non alcoholic beverage bar.
Okay.
They're really good. Hopefully, she brings the apple cider. Um,
Perfect for me because I don't drink. Like maybe
yeah, I don't. I
once a
don't
year,
drink.
if that.
I don't drink, and I'm not taking on that liability.
Right.
So, best of both worlds.
Yes.
And then we're gonna have mini pancakes.
Love those.
I absolutely love them.
I was
So,
introduced to them downtown Charleston. There was a,
mhm,
I can't think, it was by Waterfront Park.
mhm.
They call them the Dutch pancakes.
Oh, is that what they are? Okay.
Well, this person called them. They were really, really tiny, like little
Mhm.
silver dollars.
Yep.
And then I had them again somewhere in Atlanta, some place we went. They didn't call them Dutch pancakes there. They called them something else.
Yeah. And say most of the people I've seen just refer to them, at least in the upstate area here, just refer to them as mini pancakes.
Okay.
So the two vendors are Sippin' Ain't Easy
Ooh,
a-
okay.
and Paradise Pancakes.
Okay.
So it's gonna be it's gonna be a day of fun. I mean, it's just there's no way that we cannot have fun.
I love pancakes. I mean, I think you probably know that because I told you I love beignets. I'm a dough person. Now I'm excited about the pancakes.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Okay.
and I've met both vendors in person and absolutely adore both of these vendors, and it's gonna be so much fun and so much good food, and we're gonna be hopped up on sugar.
Yes, which will be good.
So we're gonna
Now
have a
that you mentioned pancakes, I'm probably going to bring my little special syrup.
oh
Yes.
they will have a variety of toppings to put on them,
Okay.
and so yeah, it'll be interesting to see exactly what toppings they're featuring that day and which beverages we get. So it'll be good.
This is going to be fun.
It is. I can't wait because it's gonna be so much fun that day. We will have a great time. I can't wait to see you and have such a fun time. Thank you so much for coming out and for coming on here and doing an interview with me. Greatly appreciate that.
I will be sharing it everywhere because we want everyone to come.
Right. I will see you in a few weeks.
Okay. See you
Thank
guys April 25th.